Your family will meet you in the afterlife.
A man loses his family and everything he's built, and he fights his way back to meaning.
Are you not entertained?
I don't think there's ever been a gladiator to match you.
This film gives you battles, tigers, and a packed arena losing its mind, but the reason people still quote it isn't the blood or the swords, it's the clarity.
You know, dirt cleans off a lot easier than blood, Quintus.
You see who Maximus is, what he values, and why it matters when a broken empire tries to swallow him whole.
I knew a man who once said death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back.
We start with Maximus at the height of his life. He's a general who actually earns the love of his men.
Rome salutes you, and I embrace you as a brother.
He talks about home more than glory.
Highness, when your father releases me, I intend to return home.
He prays over the small figures of his wife and son like a ritual before war. You understand him in minutes. Duty, family, discipline.
I want you to become the protector of Rome after I die.
Then everything flips. Marcus Aurelius dies, Commodus takes power, and Maximus becomes property.
Ultimately, we're all dead men.
That fall is the spine of the movie. It strips him down, then forces him to crawl up through the filth of Rome and face the man who did this to him.
Unlike Maximus the Invincible, who knows no fear.
The story works because it's the balance of every man in legend. Maximus has status at the start, but none of that saves him when it counts. He's tied up, beaten, sold, shoved into a cage, told to fight for strangers.
He's a Spaniard. He might as well be a unit for what he brings to the ring.
But when he steps into the stand, he starts winning fights he shouldn't, and suddenly a slave has the entire city in his hands.
Win the crowd, and you'll win your freedom.
That duality keeps you locked in. You relate to the pain and you cheer for the myth he becomes. Commodus is the other half of that engine. He's not scary because he's strong. He's scary because he's weak and wants to be worshipped anyway.
I will give the people a vision of Rome, and they'll love me for it. They'll soon forget the tedious sermonizing of a few dry old men.
His whole life is one long tantrum for his father's attention.
For ways to please you, to make you proud.
He goes from needy son to emperor without earning it, and the power just magnifies the emptiness. He smothers Rome with theater because that's the only way he can imagine people loving him. The Colosseum is a national distraction machine. Bread, circuses, and a loud crowd so nobody hears the rot upstairs. Ridley Scott puts all of us in those seats. The camera swings, the dust flies, the crowd rises, and we feel that rush too. But Maximus turns the entire system against Commodus.
But the Emperor Claudius knew that they're up to something.
The Emperor can't touch the star attraction. Underneath the spectacle, you've got a very clear moral frame. Family, loyalty, and earned respect. Maximus never chases the throne, refuses it when Marcus Aurelius floats the idea.
There is one more duty that I ask of you before you go home.
He doesn't want politics, he wants his farm and his people. That simplicity is strong because it's rare in this world. Commodus can't understand it. He feeds on approval and control.
My brother hates all the world.
Maximus lives by a code and doesn't need applause to follow it. One man needs Rome to love him, the other needs to keep his word. The more Rome tries to drag him into its noise, the more he holds that field in his head. He keeps fighting even when winning looks impossible. He wants to face his family again with a clean conscience. And this film makes a clear statement on masculinity. Maximus leads by example.
And now they love Maximus for his mercy.
He earns loyalty, he takes the blame, he speaks quietly and rarely. In the arena, he isn't performing toughness, he's surviving with discipline and strategy. There's a difference between the power you demand and the power you draw out of people by showing them who you are.
If we stay together, we survive.
His soldiers would follow him into a burning forest because they've already seen him do that for them. Compare that to Commodus. Touchy, jealous, theatrical. He wants the costume of power. He never learned the weight of it.
Every day he lives, they grow bolder. I will not make a martyr of him.
Rome itself feels like a character. The buildings are grand, but the values are hollow. Senators whisper about reform. The public wants a show. Slaves die for cheers. It's a city that remembers greatness like an old story while living on cheap thrills.
You have a great name. You must kill your name before he kills you.
Even Proximo, the grizzled trainer who buys him, knows the game is rotten but can't help but play it. He tells his fighters to win the crowd because that's the only path to freedom left. It's a cruel logic, but in this world, it's true.
You're good, Spaniard, but you're not that good.
The craft behind the movie helps sell all of this without calling attention to itself. The colors are drained, almost smoky. The battles don't feel clean, they feel more chaotic, chopped, loud, and desperate. You never forget that there's a real body under every piece of armor. And then the score shows up. The music carries both grief and momentum. That low thrum before a fight and the voice that floats over the wheat fields gives the story weight. You could watch with your eyes closed and still know when the film is mourning or marching forward. The movie plays with fate in a way that makes sense for these characters. Maximus acts like a man walking a set path.
Why are we here?
For the glory of the Empire, sire.
He has visions of his family in that field. He moves towards them step by step. Commodus fights fate at every turn. He grasps, he plots, he tries to stage manage his legacy, and every move tightens the noose.
Do you think I'm afraid?
One man accepts the cost of doing the right thing even if it kills him. The other man avoids the cost and loses everything anyway. There's a father-son thread that runs under the surface. Marcus Aurelius wants Rome to belong to the people again, and he sees Maximus as the kind of man who could help get it there. That makes Maximus a sort of chosen son, chosen for values, not blood.
When a man sees his end, he wants to know there was some purpose.
Commodus's father's last meaningful act is to trust another man. That insult defines him. He spends the rest of the movie trying to force Rome to love him the way his father didn't.
Isn't it late to be playing Legionnaire?
I'm a gladiator.
It never works because love doesn't come from fear. The film also handles revenge with more nuance than you might expect. Maximus wants Commodus dead. He also wants his family's memory honored. As he climbs, the goal widens. He corners Commodus in front of everyone, takes the blade meant for him, and keeps fighting anyway. When he finally wins, he doesn't gloat.
There was a dream that was Rome. It shall be realized.
He gives power back to the Senate, asks for the release of his fellow gladiators, and falls into the field he's been chasing so long. Revenge becomes justice. The death is tragic and peaceful in the same breath. The friend he makes in the arena keeps that peace alive. You watch a slave and a general become brothers.
That is not your business.
Then you watch that bond carry the story past the credits.
We'll see you again.
The crowd goes home, the empire keeps spinning, but people remember the man who stood firm when everything was crooked. That's a practical, almost workmanlike intelligence in how Maximus wins. He studies the floor plan of the arena in seconds. He uses his men's strengths, he breaks formations, sets traps, and keeps his back to a wall when he can. When the tigers come out, he times his movement so the chains pull them back at the last second. It's procedural calm. Commodus can kill him, but only by losing the crowd, so he stalls. The delay buys Maximus time.
You take life when you have to, as I do.
Gladiator also revived a dead corner of Hollywood. Big historical epics weren't a safe bet at the time. This movie made them bankable again. You can trace a line from Gladiator to a wave of large-scale historical dramas in the 2000s. The trick wasn't just size, it was clarity. People came for spectacle and stayed for a clean story about a decent man walking through hell with purpose. However, the movie does bend history freely. Maximus is an invention. Commodus didn't die in the arena this way. Rome's politics are simplified. Ridley Scott isn't making a school textbook. He's building a legend that feels emotionally true. The choices aim at the spirit of an empire in decline and a man trying to hold one corner of it steady. Maximus's defiance creates a moment where the better version of Rome can slip back in, at least for a while.
You risk too much.
I have much to pay for.
And when you step back, Gladiator is simple on purpose. Family is worth more than fame. Loyalty matters. Strength without character collapses. Crowds can be fooled. Crowds can also be led to the right thing if someone shows them a better target for their energy. Legacy isn't a statue in a courtyard. It's the people who change because of what you did. It gives you pain, skill, and violence, but it also gives you a clean center to measure yourself against. A man who loses everything, then builds a legacy out of resolve. A coward who rules the world for a moment and can't make anyone love him. A city that chases noise and still remembers a good man when it sees one. The sword fights are fun, but the message is the part that stays.